Welcome to Billiard Breakdown. My name is Mike, and today I'm going to be analyzing a race to 18 in 10-ball pool featuring Efren Reyes versus Michael ULBADO. I hope you enjoy my commentary, and I hope you find my analysis helpful. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so this game with ULBADO starts off with a pretty nice masse into the corner pocket for the 3. He doesn't really have a good shot on the 4. He could bank it, but he could also just decide to leave the cue ball behind the 5 and 10 or behind the 6 and the 8 for a safety shot. Let's see what he decides. Okay, so he does leave the cue ball behind these two balls. Efren's left with a pretty difficult shot on the 4. He isn't able to hit it on directly. He can bank over here or over here. He is the master of hitting the correct side of the object ball, so let's see what he decides to do. Nice. So he used a lot of right spin to hit that shot. It does look like he was trying to sit the cue ball behind the 5, but it didn't work out. ULBADO is left with a clear shot on the 4 corner over here. He may set up for the 5-10 combo by drawing the cue ball back towards this general direction. Let's see. Okay. He missed, but he did get fortunate that the cue ball landed behind the 9. Efren again isn't clear for the 4. Efren's probably going to have to shoot rail first into the 4 here. You can also go this way with the cue ball. Efren made good contact on the 4, but unfortunately, ULBADO is left with a pretty easy 4-8 combo into the side. The 4 will travel this way, and the cue ball should travel in this general direction. So ULBADO has the option to hit a stop shot and leave the cue ball here, or roll the cue ball forward. It's probably best if he rolls the cue ball forward, so that way he can come off the 5 with the cue ball and set up for the 6 side next. Five goes in the corner, and he gets a pretty natural setup on the 6. He left the cue ball a little further away from the 6 than he'd probably like. It's tough to see the angle on this, but he could probably play top right spin and have the cue ball go towards the right, or he could probably draw the cue ball straight back, but be left with a slightly longer shot. Okay, so he was able to add enough draw to just draw the cue ball towards this direction. He's pretty straight on with the 7 for the corner. He may decide to just draw the cue ball straight back for the 9 corner or 9 side. Okay, so it looks like he was trying to add some top spin to actually go rail first and then come back up closer to the 9, but it didn't work out. So you can shoot the 9 here or the 9 here. Let's see what he decides to do. Tough shot either way. Okay. He did miss, and he did sell out a shot to Efren. There should be no problem for Efren. Just kidding. It's 0-0. They're still warming up. Pretty straight on shot for the 9. He does have to worry about getting a little too far to the left, leaving a difficult shot on the 10. I would only really worry about making it, but oh, the 9 goes into the side pocket after his miss. Looks like they are playing 10 ball without needing to call the pocket and the ball. So ULBADO is going to continue shooting. 10 goes straight in. Nice. Is it scratching? Game 1 goes to Efren. Efren fans will say that Efren planned that from the beginning. Alright, so Efren does have a very nice shot on the 1 corner. If he plays this with top right spin, he may bump into the 8. So it's possible that he is going to draw it back for the 2. Okay, he did draw it, but he didn't quite get far enough. Efren may choose to bank the 2 into the corner or play safe. Let's see. Oh wow. That's why they call him the magician. I believe the 6 is partially blocking the correct angle for the 2. Knowing Efren, he could add a little left masse and still shoot the 2 in, but it's a pretty low percentage shot. I wonder if there's a safety that he sees as well. So Efren was trying to leave the cue ball here and the 2 ball where it is right now and have this cluster of balls block the cue ball from making contact with the 2. Didn't work out. ULBADO is left with a thin cut on the corner, but it isn't easy. The next ball is the 4, so he will have to add some left spin to try to make position on the 4 as well. Or you can play safe. Okay. So ULBADO plays safe behind the 7. Efren isn't clear for the 2, I don't think. He is going to have to shoot rail first, knock the 2 this way, and hopefully leave the cue back here. But he misses it completely. Alright, ULBADO has ball in hand. Yeah, so he's going to leave that angle on the 2 so he can have the cue ball come straight back out and combo the 4-8. Or he's going to have the cue ball hit the rail and come towards this direction with bottom right spin. The 4 goes into the 8, but he doesn't want to hit the 8 with the 4 on this side. He wants to hit it more straight on, but also wants to make sure that the 4 doesn't roll in with the 8. Very nice. If he were to hit the 8 more towards the left, the 4 could roll in this direction, leaving ULBADO with a bank rather than an easy shot on the 4. The 5 is clear for both pockets, so let's see which one he decides to set up for. Okay, he decides to go 3 rails for the 5 setup. The cue ball should pretty naturally make position for the 6 corner. He got a little too sharp of an angle on the 6. He would have liked to be a little more flat on with it. Now he's going to have to do something to generate some sort of easier angle on the 7. If he were to just shoot it with medium power and not care too much, he could end up over here with a very difficult cut on the 7. He may decide to add a little left spin to leave the cue ball around this general area. He could also go 2 rails back and forth. Let's see what he decides. Wow, that's an amazing shot. So he did add a little left spin, but rather than maintain position on this corner, he decided to shoot the cue ball harder and maintain position for the opposite corner, passing right through the 10. So that's game, ULBADO. It is 1-1, and Efren did not make ULBADO shoot that last ball. The 1 goes straight into the side, and the cue ball scratches in the corner pocket. Efren should be able to run this out. You give Efren ball in hand, he's probably going to run it out. He's going to hit the rail and come back towards this general area for the 3 corner. 3 corner, and the 4 does go into the side as well as the corner. Let's see what he decides to do. So Efren sets up for the corner pocket, and the next ball he needs to shoot is the 5. He may have to come into the rail and back off it. Okay, he decides to go back. That does risk the possibility of scratching, but it is Efren. Precision plays. So that time he could have accidentally been left behind the 9 as well. The 6 goes into the corner, and he's just going to draw it back slightly for the 7. Let's see if he's going to draw it into the side or back down and up. That's uncharacteristic for Efren to miss that kind of shot. Looks like ULBADO is going to try to shoot the 7 into this corner and possibly just draw it back with bottom left spin to maintain position somewhere over here. Very nice. It's tough to tell the angle on how the 8 is going to go into the corner, but ULBADO should be able to just draw the cue ball back for the 9. I was way off on that angle, but it's kind of tough to tell. For the 9 corner, just regular light topspin is required to set up for the 10. Ten goes straight in, and that was a very nice game for ULBADO. Nothing's pocketed on the break, but ULBADO does get a little lucky that the cue ball is completely snookered on the 10 for the 1. I'm not sure if they're playing with push shot rules, but they should be. Yep. Okay, so that was Efren pushing out. A push shot allows you directly after the break to shoot the cue ball anywhere as long as you call a push shot, and it won't be considered a foul. Then the incoming player, ULBADO, has the option to either take the shot on the 1 or to pass it back to Efren. Nice. So ULBADO was able to thin the left side of the 1 and leave the cue ball on the far side of the table. Efren is clear for it, so he should be able to play safety in return. But it was a nice shot. Ooh. Efren may have sold out the 10 side carom into the 1 ball and then the cue ball going into the 10. Let's see if he decides to shoot that. It's either shooting that or maybe the bank or even playing safe. I believe it goes. Okay, so ULBADO decided to play the bank. I'm not sure if it was a low percentage shot or why he didn't go for that carom. Efren was trying to play safe again, possibly behind the 4, but more likely trying to leave the 1 behind this cluster of balls. Didn't work out because those long shots it's difficult to gauge the power and accuracy of those long shots. The 1 should be clear for the corner over here. And ULBADO should be able to draw the cue ball back for the 2 next. Wow. He goes for the bank shot. This guy's here to play. Not only did he go for the bank shot, he went for a 3-way shot. So ULBADO is clear for the corner with the 2, but he also has the 5 and 6 blocking the 1 ball if he were to miss. That's a very high level play. I'm not too sure how he's going to set up for that 3. Okay, so he leaves himself with a difficult cut on the 3. He may also decide just to play safe. I'm having a hard time seeing what this safety shot is going to be, though. Very nice. Wow. He set the 3 behind the 4. He set the cue ball behind the 9. And if he were to miss sitting the 3 behind the 4 or the 9 or the cue ball behind the 9, he has this cluster here to give him some more room for error. Efren made good contact on the 3 and left ULBADO with a bank or another safety. Now he can leave the cue ball somewhere in this general area or the 3. Another very nice shot. ULBADO once again uses this cluster of balls to prevent Efren from directly shooting the 3. No way. Efren Reyes, the magician. People call it luck, but he does that very often. All right, so Efren plays a 2-way shot as well. He goes for the bank into the corner, but if he misses, he is behind this cluster. But if he makes it, he does have a shot on the 5 into the corner as well. So I guess that's considered a 3-way shot. Very good stuff. So ULBADO is looking like he's just going to bank in this general direction. He's probably going to try to hit this rail first and then go into the 4. Yep. That is the higher percentage shot than attempting to hit the cue ball straight on, or rather than attempting to hit the 4 ball straight on. I don't believe Efren is going to try to cut the 4 ball in. He is probably going to try to play safe, but it is a difficult safe to play. Now he could even go for the two-way shot, shooting the 4 here and leaving the cue ball behind this cluster, but let's see. Okay, so Efren does leave the cue ball behind that cluster of balls. He doesn't go for this pocket. He goes for leaving the 4 on the far end of the table, right behind the 7. Looks like ULBADO is going to need to shoot another bank shot. Probably this rail first. Now it does look like he may be going for this. This is some very high level safety play. This cluster has been used like 10 times to prevent each player from shooting the object ball. Efren may decide to masse this 4. It's either that or shoot the bank. Now if he shoots the bank, he wants the cue ball to go in this general direction. Okay. So he was able to add a little light masse and shoot the 4. Now I don't know if this was on purpose, but it probably was. But Efren missed the 4 on this rail rather than this rail. Missing the 4 on this rail guarantees the 4 will travel along the short end of the rail, leaving a tough shot for the opponent. Very nice. Leaving the cue ball behind the 9. Efren once again has to try and get creative with how he's going to shoot the 4. Another great shot. So ULBADO's left on the rail and the 4 is on the opposite end of the table. It's too thin of a, well, it's probably too thin of a cut to make. He's going to end up banking the 4 out, I believe, or thinning the 4 with the cue ball and trying to play safe again. Let's see what he does. Okay, so Efren finally has a reasonable shot that he can make. Not that he couldn't make any of the other ones. Wow. So the 5 isn't clear for this corner, but that's what was easiest to make position for. Efren decided to add heavy bottom left spin, I believe, to set up for the 5 corner pocket by bringing the cue ball over here. Extremely impressive. Now that setup was a little questionable. He probably wanted to be a little more over towards the left, but he should be able to make this 7 into the corner no problem and leave the cue ball in this general area. Yeah, you see Efren even going back to I guess ponder why he shot that ball incorrectly. Nice. He got a little closer to the 8 than he wanted, but it's all good either way. ULBADO forfeits this game, and it is now 2-2, tied up. All right, so ULBADO is not clear for the 1, so he is probably going to shoot a push out shot. It's tough pushing out against Efren because he either makes everything or he's just going to give it back to you if it's a ridiculous shot. Let's see if he goes for the pocket. He does. And he goes for the two-way shot of leaving the cue ball behind the 2 as well as trying to shoot the 1 in. So if he makes it, he has a shot on the 2. If he misses, ULBADO does not have a shot on the 1. Now, he may just try to masse this in, but it's not easy. Okay. Wow. ULBADO was able to leave the cue ball behind the 4. But it did seem like he was either trying to make the 1 or make the 8. Looks like Efren's going to do a little masse right into the 1. That's a great shot. So the 1 is clear for this corner, but he was able to sit the 1 behind the 5. Or maybe it is clear for this corner. He is stroking up like it is. Maybe he needed to use more of that pocket than he thought he could. So Efren is going to shoot this, and he may attempt to draw it towards the left. Wow. That is some high level play. Comment below, did anyone see this? Did anyone? The 3 goes in the corner, and the cue ball, he should be able to stun it back around this area. Not sure if he's going to try to leave the cue ball here and just shoot the awkward shot on the 5 or bring it back for the corner. So it does look like he brings the cue ball back for the 5 corner. It's tough to tell the angle on this, but he should be able to just stop the cue ball for the 6 side. Okay. Not too sure if that was on purpose, but the 6 does combo into the 8 pretty easily. He does need to make sure that he doesn't hit the 8 too thick or thin, leaving the 6 on the short end of the rail. You do see him shaking his head, so he may have made a small error in his position. Not only can the 6 land in this area, but the cue ball is angled in a way on the 6 to where the cue ball is going to stay in this general on this general side of the table, unless he can force it. Excellent shot. I believe Efren's going to try to stay on this end of the table, but let's see. Excellent position play for the 7 corner. He may leave the cue ball here for the 9 side, or he may do whatever he wants and bring the cue ball back to around this area for the 9 corner. He did come up a little short, and he is left with a slightly more difficult shot than what he wanted, for sure. Awesome shot. Ten corner for the game. Let's see if he can do it. No problem for Efren. That's 3-2 to Efren. So the 4 ball is blocking the 1 over here. Efren's probably going to kick at the 1 and try to play safe, maybe behind the 4. Kick at the 1. Oh, wow. Efren pushes out. Gives the shot to ULBADO. I believe ULBADO is going to take it just because of how close the cue ball is to the 1. ULBADO makes the bank into the corner. Great shot. I don't think that the 2 clears the 3 for the corner. He may be looking for a way to play safe here. Or he can try to shoot the 2 into this corner. Let's see what he decides. Maybe the 2 is clear for the corner. Okay. Very smart using these to try to play safe behind the 9 and the 6. I don't think Efren can hit the 2 ball straight on just because of the 6, but he can definitely kick at it no problem. So he is eyeing the kick shot to make the 2 ball. If he does make the 2, it is pretty automatic position for the 3 corner. No way. Efren Reyes, the magician. It makes the 2 into the corner with position on the 3. Can someone explain to me how? How does he do this? So he's left with a thinner cut than probably what he would like on the 6, but it's better to be too thin or a little too thin than to accidentally sit yourself behind the 9. Efren can choose to play with inside spin to go straight back which is exactly what he decided to do. For this, it may make sense to go rail first, but he does whatever he wants. 9 corner with a stop shot. Stop shot maybe will stop around here, or he can roll right forward with it for the 10 corner. That was a crazy kick shot. Good stuff. 4-2 Efren. One ball straight into the side pocket with good position on the 2. I believe the 3 is free for the corner as well. So if he can make the 2 and make good position on the 3, that could be it. It's likely that Efren's going to want to bring the cue ball towards this direction, but let's see what he decides to do. Very nice. He is set up for the corner here. I believe he's going to want to draw the cue ball towards this area for the 5 into the same corner. Very nice. The path of least resistance would be to roll the cue ball slightly forward with the 5 corner for the 6 side setup, but he decides to set up for this corner. Two rails for the 7 corner setup. He should just be able to stun towards the right for the 8, but he misses. Wow. Efren misses the 7 corner setup, probably giving the game to ULBADO as a result. He's going to use probably right spin to bring the cue ball back. Yep. Any more and ULBADO may have been in trouble on that one. He's going to want to bring the cue ball back towards this area, but he doesn't want to get straight on with the 9. He wants to leave a little bit of an angle. Which he is able to do without a problem. A regular center shot with medium power is probably going to be used to bring the cue ball back towards here. Or here. Unfortunate miss by Efren. It is 4-3. Efren's still in the lead. Okay, Efren. The 1 is clear. You can't ask for anything more. Make the 1 into the corner, set up for the 2 by maybe coming back. No. He left himself with the bank or safety. Efren may decide to try to leave the cue ball behind this cluster of balls. Or just shoot the bank. Go for the win. I think Efren used inside spin to kill the speed of that shot and make sure he has an angle on the 4 corner. But he leaves himself Stuck behind the 6. Very uncharacteristic of Efren to not be able to see that 5 ball. He's going to have to kick at it. Now I wonder which side of the 5 Efren's going to want to hit. Alright, well, the 5 into this corner would have been the easier shot, so at least he does leave ULBADO with the slightly more difficult angle. But maybe he wasn't really clear for it because of the 8, so he did decide to play safe behind the 6. Excellent safety, by the way. Efren really isn't able to shoot in this general direction for the 5. He almost makes it with a little left masse, but the 8 does get pocketed into the side, and they are not calling the pocket and the ball that is dropping, so it is Efren's shot once again. The 6 may be blocking the correct angle to shoot the 5 into the corner, so we may see we may see another safety shot. Efren's on point with his kicks. That's all I'll say. This is not an automatic shot on the 5 though, depending on how far the 5 is on the edge of the pocket. He may have to shoot a masse shot slight right with slight right spin to pocket the 5. Yep, it's not automatic. That's what I'm telling you. Efren should be able to clear this up now. He may use top right spin on the 5 to go 2 rails, or he could just draw it back depending on the angle he has for the 6 side or corner. But Efren is MIA right now. Let's see what he decides to do. He does none of the above, but he does seem a little upset, hence the chalk slam over here. He left himself on the rail with a long shot on the 6 with the wrong angle, I believe, to set up for 7, unless he can choose to play the 7-10 corner. But ideally, he would have liked to have been over here if that's the shot he was going to go with on the 6, or to set up for the 6. Going for the two-way shot again, I believe. Shooting the bank, but if he misses, the 6 rolls into the short side of the table, leaving a difficult shot based on where the cue ball position would be. It is a difficult shot to make. This is 50-50 at best for most people. We may see another safety. Great shot by ULBADO. With decent position on the 7. ULBADO's here to play. He's playing extremely well. Excellent shot using right spin to maintain position for the 9 corner. The cue ball would naturally go in this direction if he had not used that. Bottom right spin should be used as well to maintain position for the 10. And that is game ULBADO. 4-4, we're tied up. The 1 goes straight into the side. And he does have a shot on the 2, although it is not clear for anything except the corner. The 9 combo into the side doesn't seem bad. He may decide to leave the cue ball behind this cluster and shoot the 2 out though. Okay, he shoots the 9 combo into the side. He was probably hoping for the 2 ball to land more around this area for the corner pocket over here. He should still be able to make it. And maybe leave the cue ball in this area for the 3 corner. It is a difficult shot though. Very nicely done. As long as he makes the 3 into the corner, he should be okay. The 4 is pretty wide open. Very nice shot. I guess it was possible that he could have gotten snookered behind the 7, but he did hit that with enough pace for the cue ball to bank off the rail sufficient. Uh-oh. Alright, he left himself a little awkward on the 5. He added a little too much right spin, which caused the cue ball to hit the rail a little early, and then have the cue ball bounce too much to the right. I believe the cut is the higher percentage shot here. But let's see what ULBADO decides to do. Great cut with very good position on the 7. He doesn't need to do anything except make the 7 for natural position on the 8. Although it looks like he's going to draw it. But he got a little tough. He got a little tough again with that sharp angle on the 8 corner. I believe the higher percentage shot would have been to hit that 7 with just regular topspin and have the cue ball end up with a pretty natural angle on the 8. Wow. So instead of running out, he plays safe. It's hard for me to tell if that 10 is really blocking the 8, because Efren can shoot the 8 into the side or the corner if it's clear. Looks like he's looking at the side. Going for the bank. Almost makes it again. But it does look like Efren is going to be down 5-4 after this game. All right, 5-4, ULBADO. The 1 goes straight into the side pocket, and the 2 ball is completely open. The way ULBADO is playing, this should be a run out. A little draw or bottom right spin will probably be used to set up for the 3 corner over here. Circles are on point. For this shot, regular topspin can be used to bring the cue ball back for the 4 with a slight angle. Circles on point. Now, topspin in this scenario can make it hit the 8 unintentionally. So he does want to make sure he does go by it, but he scratches. Okay, maybe it would have been better if he intended to hit the 8. That way he can make sure he doesn't scratch and still have an angle on the 5 corner. That is a pretty unlikely scratch scenario, though. So on this shot, Efren's just going to want to come straight back up for the 6 corner. And that's using a center stun shot. A stun shot is used to just maintain position on the 7. Now the cue ball, he's going to want to just bring straight out off the rail for the 8. Or draw back slightly for an angle on the side. Little 2 rail setup for the 9. And probably another 2 rail setup for the 10. 5-5, tie game again. The 6 is pocketed into this corner, and the 2 is pocketed into that corner. Unfortunately, the 9 is blocking the 1. Let's see what Efren is able to do with a safety or a push shot. I see Efren using this cluster somehow to play safe. I don't know how I would do it, though. I guess just like that. I think the 5 is blocking the 1, so he's not going to shoot it straight in. He can't even really bank over here because the 7 is blocking the correct angle. Looks like he's going to add a little massé to it, maybe. Okay, I guess it was more clear than I had thought. It didn't look like he needed to add any amount of spin to it. Let's see if Efren goes for this. I don't really see any other option to make contact with the 1. That's a good shot. So the 5 is completely blocking all possible contact with the 1 directly, meaning ULBADO will need to shoot a bank. He's probably going to try to hit the 1 full on so he can leave it behind the 5, but it does not look like that happened. And Efren gets a beautiful setup on the 1. He should be able to just stun the cue ball back around here or roll it forward for the 3-ball setup. Now for the 3, he's going to want to roll the cue ball or leave the cue ball for the long shot on the 4. He does hit the 10 though. He may go for the bank into the side pocket and go for some sort of two-way safety shot. He does not. Okay. But he is completely safe because of the 5 and 10. Let's see what ULBADO decides to do. He should be able to make contact with the 4, but as far as making it, that's tough. Unfortunate miss. When I say unfortunate miss, I mean unfortunate sellout. Efren is very open for the 4, and setting up for the 5 corner should be no problem. I would imagine he's going to use, well, he could go with a draw shot or with top right spin to bring the cue ball back for the 5. Efren does end up using top right spin. He gets a good position on the 5. Let's see how he sets up for the 7. That's a great shot. A lot of finesse is used for that one. I'm guessing Efren would like to come off the rail for the corner setup, but he goes a route that no one else other than him would go, which is this way. That is ridiculous. And he has perfect setup on the 9 with the perfect angle to slightly draw it back for the 10 corner. He probably got a little closer than he would have liked, but should be no problem for Efren, who leads 6-5 now. Okay, so it's 6-5, Efren. Let's see what ULBADO is able to do. It's a pretty long distance on the 1 for a draw shot, but that's what it looks like he's going to try to shoot. Cue ball should be able to draw. Okay, so he miscued a little bit, but there was no foul, and he did get lucky that the 1 set behind the 9 and the 8. Good contact made by Efren. He did a good job of leaving the cue ball and the 1 on opposite ends of the table. Not only that, the 8 is in between them both. So ULBADO was trying to just thin the one, leaving the one somewhere in this general area, and hoping that one of these balls would be blocking the cue ball from seeing the one. So the reason why Efren missed this shot was because he was trying to set up for the 2 corner. And in order to set up for the 2 corner, pretty heavy top right spin needed to be used to pocket the 1 in order to have the cue ball land over here. That resulted in a miss on the 1. Now even this shot, it's not clear whether or not he can get the right angle on the 2 because of the 9. But let's see. If he is able to get the correct angle, then he should just be able to put heavy draw on the cue ball in order to bring it back for the 3 corner. He's using a lot of chalk. He probably doesn't want to miscue again. Yep, so he does try to put heavy draw on it to bring it back. He gets a little short, but it should be no problem making the 3. Now the next issue he has to deal with is the 8 and the 7, because both of these balls are blocking certain angles for the 4 corner. Let's see how he's able to do that. Wow. Right in between the 8 and the 7. Very impressive. This is pretty easy to pocket, and he should be able to bring the cue ball back up with a little bottom right spin for the 5 corner. This is a little tricky because he ideally wants to set up for the 6 corner. But if he puts top right spin on the cue ball is going to hit the 9, stopping the setup from happening. But he also has too thin of an angle to leave the cue ball here for the 6 corner. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do. He may try to bring the cue ball down past. Okay. So he leaves himself with a sharp angle on the 6, and you see he let out a little bit of frustration just now because he has to use the bridge or not. But yeah, he's left with the thin angle on the 6, but he should be able to leave the cue ball somewhere in this area for the 7 corner. Just a 2 rail setup, up and down for the 7 setup. Okay. So he hits the 8, but he hits the 8 pretty full on, which is fortunate. I believe he wanted to go past the 8 and then back up for the 7 setup, but this is pretty good. A simple stun shot should be able to bring the cue ball back in this general area for the 8. Regular topspin or maybe regular light top right spin can be used to set up for the 9 somewhere in this area. So we got to the same area, just different spins. Now if he shoots the 9 with a regular center shot, he can end up too close to the 10. He may want to stun the cue ball towards the right just to play safe. Let's see what he decides to do. Very nice. So instead of doing either of those things, he plays with inside left spin to hold position for the 10 corner. Nice shot. 6-6. It's all tied up. So I believe there is a direct shot on the 1, but I think the 7 is preventing Efren from having the correct angle of pocketing the 1. So a safety shot is played. Efren uses these balls to block the shot on the 1. So Efren is able to hit the left side or the right side from his angle of the 1 ball. He may be going to pocket it, but he misses unfortunately, and it looks like the side is going to be available. Now what ULBADO is considering is the 3 ball. He knows the 1 goes into the side and the 2 goes into the corner, but the 4 is blocking the 3 from going into the corner, and the 8 is blocking the 3 from going in this corner. So I believe he's trying to figure out how he can set up for the side pocket. Now with this angle, he may just bring the cue ball directly into the cluster and just hope for the best. I'm not too sure. Okay, so he did bring the cue ball directly into that cluster and hope for the best. I think the 4 is still blocking the 3 from clearing to go in the corner. Maybe not. Maybe he did clear it. Just the way he's lining up for the shot. That's a good shot. So heavy bottom, I guess more heavy right spin with a little stun was used to curve the cue, or to curve the 3 ball towards the left to actually get pocketed. Now the 5 goes into the side pretty easily. The cue ball is likely, the cue ball is likely to go this way for the 6 setup. Instead of using top, he used stun or bottom left draw, which is very advanced. That was impressive. He did get a little thick on the 7, but should be no problem to set up for the 8 corner, I believe, over here. With a little bottom right stun. Or maybe even the side pocket. We'll see how hard he decides to hit. Okay, so he does end up stunning for the corner pocket here. Regular top spin or regular light top should be used to set up for the 9 corner, or 9 side. Ideally, he would like to be more on this end of the table, just so he can get a natural angle on a 9 to set up for the 10, which he has done successfully. Looks like he's going to draw the cue ball back for the 10 corner. Or stun it to the right. Although I would have probably drawn it back for the 10 corner. Now he's kind of left with an awkward shot. He should still be able to make it, but he did make it more difficult than it needs to be. Nice. 7-6. Efren is trailing behind. Man, these guys have been pocketing the 1 into the side pockets all day with their break. And he's left with an excellent shot on 2 for pretty natural position on the 3 by drawing the cue ball just a little bit for the side pocket. Now he does want to stay on this side so he can get position on the 4. I believe he's going to want to come forward with the cue ball for the 4 side pocket. Or just stun it back, but same location either way. He should be able to stun draw the cue ball back just towards the left for the 5. Very nice. He probably would have preferred slightly more angle on the 5. Maybe have the cue ball around here so he can naturally come back for the 6. But he should be able to just draw the cue ball back towards this area. He got okay on the 6. He is pretty straight on with it. He would have preferred maybe more angle either here or here with the cue ball, just so he can come up for position on the 7 corner. But let's see how he decides to manufacture an angle. Looks like he's using top left spin to try to come up. Nope. You see him roll his eyes right after that shot too. If he does make this shot, he is going to be left pretty good on the 8, unless the angle of the cue ball naturally goes this way. But it is a tough shot regardless on the 7. That's a great shot. I don't think the 8 is clear for the corner here because of the 10. So we may see a safety shot come out. I have no idea how that ball went in. I'm going to have to rewatch that later. But great shot. Top left spin is used to go 3 or 4 rails. 1, 2, 3, 4 rails for the 10 corner setup. He did get a little too far down on the 10, but it should be no problem. ULBADO is up 8-6 against the legendary Efren Reyes. He is left with a clear shot on the 2. But it is not easy. And even if he were to make the 2, the cue ball will more than likely bump into the 10. And if it doesn't, you have the 4 and the 7 ball blocking any angle on the 3. And I don't even know if the 3 clears the 5. It's difficult to tell. So let's see what he's able to do here. maybe just simply play safe. Yep. That's a great safety shot. So I think Efren can see the left side of the two, but as far as pocketing it goes, well, who am I kidding? It's Efren. But let's see if Efren is able to manage a good safety shot out of this. Efren unfortunately scratches in the corner pocket, giving the king ball in hand. King ULBADO. That's quite the nickname. Let's see how he decides to make position for the three. Looks like he's just going to go for a little stun draw shot to bring the cue ball up over here for the three ball. The four is probably going to go in the side next. He does have a pretty good angle on the three to maybe stun the cue ball up for the four. But the five ball is going to be a little tricky. He's checking right now to see if the five clears for the corner. And if he shoots this four ball with draw, it probably does. That is very good draw control. So the five goes into the corner and he's going to just stun draw it back for the six. Let's see if he decides to make position for the seven side or corner. Looks like he was going for the side pocket. I believe he's still going to shoot the side just because it's a higher percentage shot than shooting the seven into the corner. He does run the risk of bumping into the 9 or the 10 when he comes down. So he's going to need to add draw in order to bring the cue ball up, clearing the 9 and the 10. But he does not do that. Kind of looked like he didn't follow through too well on his stroke. He's left with a tough cut, tough long distance cut on the 8. Let's see if he's able to make it. He has made more difficult shots in this match with Efren. Wow. So he goes for the two-way shot. He goes for making the 8 in this corner, but he misses on this part of the rail, making the 8 bank towards the center of the table, leaving Efren with a difficult shot. If he were to miss over here, the 8 ball would land in this area, giving up the game to Efren. But Efren uses left spin for an amazing cut on the 8. That was ridiculous. What a shot by Efren on the 8 for the win. Efren is still trailing behind ULBADO 7-8. The 1 once again goes into the side pocket. The 2 isn't clear for the corner because of the 3. Let's see if he decides to shoot into this corner or play safe somehow. It's a tricky safety. There aren't many clusters on the table, and I don't see a natural way for the cue ball or the 2 to sit behind another ball. So let's see what Efren decides to do here. He's definitely taking his time. So it does look like he is going for the pocket. Yeah, I didn't see an easy safety with that, so it makes sense. ULBADO is left with a difficult shot on the 2. We're probably going to see a safety out of this shot. Banking the 2 maybe into this area and leaving the cue ball behind the 5 or the 4. I'm not sure if the 5 is completely blocking that cue ball. That's a pretty good safety. So this is a pretty common safety that's used, is if you have your object ball here, you shoot the cue ball into the object ball, leaving the object ball and the cue ball basically parallel from each other. Nice job from ULBADO, leaving Efren with really no shot that he can pocket unless he goes for the 3-8 combo. Efren's likely to shoot another safety shot here. Efren was trying to clear the 10, have the cue ball clear the 10 and have the cue ball sit behind the 10. Great job by ULBADO using these 2 balls as blockers on the 2, and even if the 2 were able to be seen by the cue ball, the 5 is blocking the 2 from going in. Is Efren able to? Okay. So what Efren was trying to do is leave the 9 ball right in front of the 2. So when you are likely to give your opponent ball in hand, it is sometimes better rather than trying to shoot the ball to tie up another ball with the current object ball. So if the 9 was able to actually sit right in front of the 2, ULBADO wouldn't really have much of a shot, even with ball in hand. There is a slight angle here. He should be able to play with top right spin and bring the cue ball around. Perfect speed. Any more or less, ULBADO could have been left behind the 6. The 4 is next, so he's probably just going to hit this with a powerful stun shot. Or a medium power stun shot. The goal here was just to get off the rail as much as possible. The 6 ball is next, so all he has to really do is make the 4, because the cue ball can land anywhere over here and he'll still be okay. I'm not too sure about the angle that ULBADO has on the 6 right now, but if it's what I think it is, he should be able to come off the rail with the cue for the 7 setup. Yep. So ideally, I think he would like to use either draw or top left spin to bring the cue ball back. Looks like he's going to shoot it with stun draw. This is a setup that I actually have difficulty with. I'm assuming he's going to use top left spin to bring the cue ball around, but it's not the easiest. Okay. And he did give himself a very difficult shot, trying to use that precise amount of bottom right draw. You do see him double taking that shot. The reason why that shot's difficult is because when you have the object ball on the rail here, and you're shooting from here into the object ball, that contact point is so thin that it's difficult to gauge the correct amount of power and spin you're adding to your shot. Good job to ULBADO for pocketing that 9. He does have a pretty straightforward shot on the 10 to bring the match to 9-7. Let's see if he can keep up the streak. Efren has a great shot on the 1, so he should be able to capitalize on this rack. He may just stun the cue ball back towards this area for the 2 corner, for the long shot. So, that was mishit, I believe. Hence the chalk slam. 2 side is the easiest shot, but the 2 corner is the shot you want to shoot if you are confident and want to make position for the 3 side. Efren shot the 2 into the side and had the cue ball travel between the 9 and the 5, back up around the 3 for the 3 corner setup. Wow. So here he can either choose to shoot with top left spin or draw it back. Efren decides to go with top left spin for the 5 corner setup. He can choose to either go around or, oh boy. Efren's missing some shots right now. I don't know. Like every other game you see him, he has like a stroke of genius, and then he's missing a shot like that. But he may have gotten lucky with the 7 partially blocking the 5. Let's see if ULBADO is able to find a way to play safe here or something else. I don't know about that one. Okay. So it seems like he was kind of disregarding what happened with these balls as long as the cue ball stayed behind the 6, which is a gutsy move to play. Efren may want to shoot the 5 into the corner and have the cue ball bump into the 9 to maintain position for the 6. It looks like he is stroking up for some heavy draw though to go back and forth, which is what happened. Hopefully he is able to run this out. Efren will probably end up using top spin or top right spin to just bring the cue ball around. Very nice. He could even, so draw is the most obvious way to come back. I mean, come back this way for the 9. But I guess he had a little more odd of an angle than I thought. The 9 clears the corner, or clears the 10 for the corner. And it looks like he wants to set up for the 10 on this corner, leaving the cue ball. Huh. I'm not too sure what he was going for with that kind of cue ball speed on that shot. Hopefully Efren is able to pocket the 10 into the side pocket. Which he is. A little questionable on the setups during that game, but he is able to capitalize. So nothing is pocketed for Efren, but the 1 ball is completely clear. You're probably going to see a safety shot where the cue ball stays behind this cluster and the 1 ball is sent in this direction. That's a good shot. Efren's going to have to shoot the bank, I believe. That's a great spot to leave the cue ball. I don't think the 3 is completely blocking the left side of the 1. ULBADO did take a look at this angle. So maybe it is. And he's looking to cut the 1 in. Who knows? Great effort. This is a difficult shot on the 1. I'm not too sure if Efren is actually going to try to pocket it or just play safe because he's down. Looks like Efren's choosing to play safe, once again using this cluster. But I believe the cue ball goes in between the 9 and the 5, and ULBADO does have a shot on the 1. So what ULBADO was trying to do was hit the 1 with a little left stun to bring the cue ball behind the 2 or the 4, and kind of just hoping the best for the 1 to land somewhere in this area so Efren wouldn't have a shot. Very nice safety. Efren was able to use both the 5 and the 6 as blockers. Not only that, just the straight-on angle of shooting the bank is blocked by the 2, so he would have to use a little left spin, probably in this general area, to come back for the 1. Straight into the corner. Now let's see how Efren is able to capitalize on that scratch. It's still not obvious. We may see another safety shot come out. So it's looking like Efren's going to try to sit the 1 ball behind the 8 and have the 1 shoot through. Okay. If ULBADO makes this shot, or if he even makes contact, that'll be extremely impressive. That was close. Good effort. He went right around the one. I believe Efren may be looking to 3-foul ULBADO, which is if you scratch 3 times in a row, you lose. That is nasty. That is a nasty, nasty safety shot. The cue ball is frozen on the 9. ULBADO is not able to shoot this way at all. He's not able to shoot this way. He's not able to shoot. I guess he could shoot here and add a little, or here and add a little right spin to bring the cue ball back towards the 1. He's not even able to shoot like this because the 5 and the 3 are blocking the 1, are blocking the cue ball from traveling in that direction. That's tough. He may just be going the right spin route of trying to bring the cue ball back, but we'll see what he tries to do. It's tough. He made contact on the 1 and scratched the cue ball in the corner. I can't believe he made contact with that and actually went past these balls. Excellent shot by ULBADO. Unfortunate scratch though. So it's 9-9. They're tied once again. Efren is on the 1. I don't think he's going to go for the pocket. He's probably going to try to leave the cue ball. Okay. Well, he was trying to leave the 1 up towards this area, but it made contact with the 8. So let's see if ULBADO is able to win this game. Should be able to draw the cue ball straight back for the 2. He has a little sharp of an angle, so he's probably going to want to go 2 rails back and forth for the 3, unless he's confident in shooting that precision shot of making sure you can stay in this area while clearing the 8 ball. Let's see what he decides to do. See, that's what happens when you try to shoot those precision shots sometimes it's just better to go for that back and forth so you can guarantee that you pocket your object ball and make position at the same time. Because whether he got here with the cue ball or here, either way, you can make position for the 4. But this is a long shot. It's not easy, but you do get automatic position for the 4. Very nice. Little stun draw to probably bring the cue ball back into this area. Maybe even closer to the 5 just because of the angle of the 4. Or none of the above. I failed to see that the 5 cleared for the side because I thought the 7 was blocking that angle. Simple draw shot to bring the cue ball back for the 7 corner. In this case, it was a stun shot. Makes sense because Efren would like to come off the rail towards the left for the 8 side pocket. He did come up a little short, so he's probably going to end up shooting the 10 ball into the corner over here. And looks like Efren's going to take the lead, 10-9. Good stuff. The 1 ball once again is pocketed into the side. And he has a very nice shot on the 2. Making position for the 3 ball is tricky though, because of the angle he has on the 2. The cue ball is going to naturally travel towards the left. Let's see if he is able to somehow bring it around. But even so, the 7-9 would be blocking it. So he very intelligently decides to go for a safety shot rather than pocket the 2 and have no position on the 3. The 9's in the way, the 5's in the way, the 6 is in the way. This is going to be another tough one for him to hit. It could be the beginning of another 3 scratch. We'll see. Okay. That was extremely smart. Like I said earlier, when you can't shoot your ball, just tie up another ball with an object ball that the opponent's going to need to shoot shortly. But it looks like if I were Efren, which I am nowhere near Efren, but if I were Efren, I would go for another 3 foul here. Let's see what he decides to do. That's pretty solid. He may have to go for the bank. Let's see what ULBADO decides to do. So it looks like he's looking to clear the 9 in between the 9 and the 10. Great shot. Great shot. I did not see that at all. A lot of left spin was used on that. I don't think Efren wants to pocket this just because he won't have a shot on the 3. Very nice. Using the 8 and the 10 to block the view of the 2. This bank is not available. Or is it? You may be able to shoot like this into the 2. Okay. Now Efren's got a shot on the 2, but not only that, he has the correct angle to break up the 3 and 7 cluster. Let's see if he's able to and remain with a shot on the 3. Very nice. Although he is a little straight on for the 3, he would have preferred to have a slight angle so he could come back up for the 4. Generating that kind of angle from being straight on over here and then ending up over here is difficult. Holding position for the 5 corner is difficult. He may come around, or he may use heavy bottom right spin to bring the cue ball 2 rails back over, like the magician. A stun draw shot should be used to hold position for the 6. The 7 may be clear. I'm not too sure, but it looks like it is. He's not thinking too much about it. Just roll the cue ball forward a little. I wonder if he's going to set up for the side or this corner, or none of the above. It's possible that he was going for the side pocket, but he ended up with a decent shot on the corner. The cue ball's probably going to come off the rail and back for the 9 corner. And I was completely wrong. It went the opposite direction this corner, and the cue ball went to the other side. Efren Reyes showing once again that no one can commentate his play. Good stuff to Efren. 11-9, Efren. He may be trying to thin the 1 and leave the cue ball somewhere behind this cluster. Ooh, even better. Shooting the object ball right here, leaving the cue ball parallel to the 1 behind the 8 and 3 cluster. Leave it to Efren to come up with a 3-rail kick shot and tie up the 4 and the 1 over here. He may have to go this direction to make contact with the 1. Let's see. Great shot by ULBADO. He made solid contact and he left the 2 in between the 1. Is he going for a masse? Okay. Looks like a slight masse was used. Man, going back and forth between these safety battles between Efren. It's crazy. This kick shot is possible, but you do need a decent amount of right spin to make that happen. It's probably the higher percentage shot than going this direction. Very nice. The 5 is probably blocking some contact on the right side of the 1. So let's see what Efren decides to do. It's hard to predict this shot. He could shoot the 1 into this general area behind the 3 and the 8. Okay, so it looks like he's going to kick at it. Efren Reyes, the kick master. The 1 went straight in to the corner pocket. What a kick. Let's see what he does with the 2. And he sells out the 2, unfortunately, but that kick shot is ridiculous. I don't believe ULBADO can cut the 2 into the corner over here. Well, maybe he can, but it's not a high percentage shot, so he may go for a safety. He pointed over here, so that may be where he wants the cue ball to land. And he may want the 2 to land somewhere over here. Let's see what he decides to do. All right. Great safety, again. The 10 blocks this bank. Efren's not left with much. He might mess it. What? Wow. Efren Reyes with the 2 rail long distance bank to make solid contact with the 2. That's top tier. If you don't get ball in hand after playing a safety like that, it's demoralizing. Let's see how Efren's going to make contact with the 2 here. The most obvious way is just shooting into the rail and directly into the 2, but maybe the 8 isn't even completely blocking the 2. Let's see. It kind of looked like he was stroking up for a slight massé. That's a good spot. The 2 is only clear for this corner, and well, he might be able to see it, but I don't believe he'll actually go for it. Maybe he will, just because the 3 is blocked by the 8. So it's kind of like a low risk shot. He was trying to leave the 2 more around here, so he would have the 5 and 10 as blockers for the corner pocket. Setting up for the 3 is tricky though. I don't know how Efren's going to be able to come down and then back up to even have a reasonable shot on the 3. Huh. Looks like he's even going for this corner. Oh no, with the scratch. That's like the worst possible scenario. ULBADO doesn't really have, he doesn't have a way to get on the 3 or really break it out. I don't think he's going to try to 3 foul Efren though. That's usually not a good idea. Oh, he's going for the 10 combo into the side, maybe. That's actually a pretty reasonable shot to go for, just because if he misses, the 2 is going to be over here, and the 3 is still not going to be open. Nope, it's off. But he left himself pretty good behind the 5, and Efren is once again going to have to come up with some bank shot, or some kick shot to hit the 2. Looks like he's going to come up and down. Alright. ULBADO was left with a shot on the 2 corner, but like I said, the 3 is still tied up. He does have the right angle to go into the cluster and break it out, although it is risky. He tried to draw into it, but I believe using topspin or a light top right spin would have been slightly more a more high percentage shot. The bank did look on point, but there was an unfortunate double kiss. The 10 seems to be blocking the correct angle Efren needs on the 3 to pocket it into the side. So he is probably going to play a safety shot here. He could also play it off the 7, play the 3 off the 7 into the side, but I don't believe that's going to happen. That's ridiculous. Even attempting to leave the cue ball behind the 4. That's tough. Let's see what he's able to do here. Even hitting here is not completely straightforward. There was a risk of scratching, but it was good on ULBADO for adding a little maybe right spin to avoid that. Efren is clear to shoot the 3 into this corner. He just doesn't want to miss and leave his opponent with a shot. I still believe he's probably going to draw the cue ball to the right, or his right, our left, for that 2-way shot, safety, and position on the 4. But it's possible he may even shoot the 3 down and back up and leave the cue ball in this area. Huh. It almost looked like he was queuing up to shoot the 3 into the corner over here. What is he thinking? Okay. Yep, so he did want to shoot the cue ball, or the 3 back up. I don't think that the safety shot worked out, though. Great shot with great position. ULBADO was on the rail, and what he was just aiming at was if he can leave the cue ball in this position for the 5 corner shot. That would be the path of least resistance, just shooting the 4-ball with medium top. He made a similar error where he was trying to baby a shot into this corner and leaving the cue ball over on this side of the rail. You have to stroke the ball and go for that setup. Otherwise, you're going to leave the cue ball or mishit it. And when I say cue ball, I mean object ball. Did you see that action Efren just got on the cue ball? 4, perfect position on the 6. Six goes here. He's going to roll it slightly forward for the 7 corner. Efren does have the correct position to stun draw the cue ball back for the 8 corner as well. Now he just needs to use a little bit of top spin, maybe, to come this way. He can choose in this situation to go with top left spin or bottom right spin to set up for the 10. It's clear for all the pockets. But he decides to go with neither. He uses bottom left spin to draw the cue ball back up, creating an angle when there was minimal. Great positional play by Efren. Efren leads 12-9. ULBADO should be able to make the 1 ball here. The issue is the 2 and 9 that's tied up. He may decide to thin the 2. He may decide to thin the 2 and bring the cue ball maybe back around this way. Or just kick at it. We'll see. Okay, I didn't realize he had that full of a shot on the 2 for the bank, but that was a great safety shot. Bringing the 2 around and leaving the cue ball behind the 9 ball. So Efren made good contact at on the 2, but he did get a little lucky with how close the cue ball landed next to the 2. This leaves a pretty difficult shot for ULBADO. He's going to end up shooting the 2 over here and trying to leave the cue ball in this general area. Looks like he's checking something else out. But shooting this way does seem like the most obvious safety. Well, Efren is able to see the 2 clearly, so ULBADO is going to probably come back to the table with a tough safety. It's not too bad. The 10 and the 8 are blocking the 2, but I don't know if it's fully blocking. or if he just needs to do a slight masse to come around. So some left spin was definitely used for that shot. It's tough to control the outcome of a shot like that, so Efren does have a good shot on the 2 for the side. Now the cue ball's on the rail, so it's tough to stun the cue ball for position on the 3, so we may see Efren elevate for this shot. He doesn't want to shoot this with just top, because if he shoots it with top, the cue ball may land behind the 8 and the 10, unless he shoots it extremely softly. Let's see what he decides to do. Okay, so he shoots the 2 into the side extremely softly, maintaining position for the 3. A stun shot is probably going to be used just to bring the cue ball back for the 4 corner. He does look pretty straight on, but he could probably draw the cue ball back towards this direction. I don't think he can make position for this corner, so he may end up shooting the 5 into the side. Yeah, see, he knows that he can only bring the cue ball back this way. So it's possible he's going to try to shoot for the side or the corner here. Came back a little too far. Ideally, he would have liked to have been over in this area, unless he's going for the side pocket over here, which does make sense because the cue ball will come up and down for the 6 corner, or the other way. That is unbelievable. That is an unbelievable setup. Great shot by Efren. Efren is shooting the 7 as if the 8 does clear the 10 for the corner here, so it should be no problem. But he jumped up and misses the 7. I think it's been a couple times when Efren has hit a ridiculous shot, and then the very next shot, which is he makes 10 out of 10 times, he misses. ULBADO should be able to just draw this back a little bit for the 9, and then the 9 goes in the corner, and he should be able to draw the cue ball back for the 10. He got a little bit of a weird angle. He would have liked to rather have been over here than over here. That's why he's thinking a little extra about this shot, is because he realizes the draw shot will bring the cue ball more towards this direction. But he is able to add a little bit of left to that draw and bring it mostly straight back. Looks like it's going to be 10-12. ULBADO trailing behind Efren Reyes. Uh-oh. This looks like a rack that's runnable for Efren. He should be able to stun draw it to the left and back. or forward. But either way, the 2 is going into the side and the 3 is going to go in the corner. I am curious about what kind of angle he's going to leave on the 3 in order to set up for the 4. If the 4 is clear for the side, Efren should be able to just draw the cue ball back this way. Looks like it is clear based on how Efren's stroking, and he should be able to leave the cue ball down and up for the 5 corner. Efren can choose to set up for either pocket this way or just straight up. Looks like he's going for this side. It's difficult for me to tell whether or not the 8 is clear for the corner, but based on the way Efren is kind of taking his time, it looks like he wants to set up the cue ball around this area for the natural breakup on the 8. That is ridiculous. To be willing to go 3 rails for a setup on an angle that you know you need for this breakup. Oh, okay. He's going for the combo. Good stuff, Efren. 13-10. I did not see that combo coming. I thought they were a little more frozen than what it was in reality. We'll ball those up, but he doesn't really have a shot at the 1. He may end up leaving the cue ball around this area and the 1 back down the table. Ooh. So he was trying to leave the cue ball on this end of the table, but he unfortunately hit the side pocket, the edge of the side pocket. The 2 must be clear, if that's what Efren decided to set up for. The 3 may have to go off the 5 into the corner, but let's see what he decides to go with. Probably would have preferred the cue ball to come off the rail towards that direction, unless he's going for the carom into the 5. That is top tier. Classic Efren. The 3 goes into the corner, and the cue ball, I believe he would like to use a little bottom left to have the cue ball travel straight down or straight towards the rail for the 4 corner. Perfect. The rest of this should be pretty straightforward for him. Ideally, Efren would like to come off and be straight on with the 6, and as I speak, he goes for the side pocket setup. I feel like that's very unconventional, but that's what makes him great. A stun shot is probably going to be used. Efren makes sure to leave the correct angle to stun back in this direction for the 8. If Efren were to have the cue ball land right here or right here, that would complicate things a little bit. Or he is going to use topspin. Yeah. Efren's game is very difficult to predict, you guys. What you would expect him to do, he does not do. But that's why he's called the magician. Okay, pretty straightforward shot. He is on the rail, so it's going to be a little awkward. When you are on the rail, you only see the top 30% of the cue ball. I don't know why he's double thinking this. The cue ball will automatically roll this way for the 10. Should be in the bag for Efren Reyes. 14-10. Efren breaks dry on this rack, but I don't think ULBADO has a good shot on the 1. He may be clear for it, but the 1 doesn't go into the corner because of the 8. ULBADO pushes out. Efren has the choice to either shoot the 1 or give the shot back to ULBADO. He gives the shot back, which is a little surprising, but it makes sense just because it's such a long shot. It's difficult to control the speed and accuracy on a shot like this. And as a result, he does sell out a shot on the 1 for the corner pocket. Efren may decide to play safe, but if he were to shoot the 1, a little top spin would bring the cue ball back for the 2. He doesn't quite get there, I don't think. It's looking like he's going to have to kick at the 2 and shoot the 2 up the table, leaving the cue ball somewhere around this area. Or do that. We're probably going to see a safety shot where the cue ball lands in this general area behind this cluster. Or he's going to shoot the 2. That was a very thin cut, so good on ULBADO for going for that shot. He is rewarded with a nice shot on the 3, and he may end up drawing the cue ball back around here for the 4 side pocket. That's very gutsy of him to draw the cue ball back that far, because it was possible that he could sit behind the 8 or the 6. So that speaks to the confidence level that this guy has in his draw shot. Another draw shot is probably going to be used to bring the cue ball back around there. He actually had a slightly different angle on the 4 than I thought he did. Shooting the 5 with a regular center shot or even light top would probably result in the cue ball bumping into the 7. So it does make things a little tricky. ULBADO grabs his extension out. I wonder if he's going to try to draw the cue ball through and back around for the side. Nope, he plays right into the 7. Now here, the corner pocket shot is a more difficult shot than the side pocket, but the corner pocket shot allows for the cue ball to come back a little easier than coming all the way around. But ULBADO does decide to take that route. Very nice position again. Perfect position actually to come up for the 8 side. I wonder where this 9 ball is going to go though. It doesn't look like it clears the 10. Unless he can add some spin to throw that 9 in. He may try to set up the cue ball in this area to come into the cluster while pocketing. Ooh, okay. There's still an opportunity here though. He can thin cut the 8 into the side, maybe. Maybe not. You see Efren over here also analyzing the position. I'm not sure what he's going to do here. This is the do or die moment. I don't see it going. It looks like the most it can clear is like over here. Oh, he's going for the 9-10 carom. So he's looking to shoot the 9 this way maybe, and then shoot the 10 in. Okay, never mind. He was able to add enough right spin to make the 9 and set up for the 10 corner. Great shooting. Great shooting by ULBADO. Ooh, scratch right off the break. Scratch right off the break. The 2 is in a tricky position. I do think it's clear for the corner, so Efren's probably going to end up coming this way for the 2 ball setup. The cue ball is going to bump into the 5 and move it towards the left, but it's going to be used to help hold position for the 3. Efren should be able to add a little bottom left spin on this to kind of swing the cue ball towards the left rather than go forward. Okay. Not what I expected, but ULBADO is on the rail, and the 3 isn't clear for anywhere, really. So pressure is back on ULBADO. That was a tough shot to play safe on. Now, although Efren isn't blocked or anything, it's still a difficult shot to make. Let's see if he chooses to play safe or actually try to pocket it. Maybe a two-way shot, pocket and be safe. Yep, so Efren did intentionally aim more towards this end of the table than this end once again. Good hit on the 3, but he does leave a corner pocket for Efren. Going for the corner pocket results in a more natural setup on the 4 corner over here. So he decides to go for the side, but it did cause some variability by bumping into the 4, so I don't know if that was the best decision to make, but it is Efren. I respect it. Okay. Efren decides to play safe once again. The object ball and the cue ball are on opposite ends of the table, and you have this cluster right here in between both of them. Looks like he's going to try to kick into the 4. Good contact, but it looks like Efren's going to be left with some sort of shot. Maybe not really makeable. Ooh. That was risky, but it paid off. You saw Efren use a little body English to the left to try to have the cue ball avoid scratching in this corner pocket. But Efren was able to have the 5 sit in between the cue ball and the 4, so extremely impressive. Ooh. The positive of this shot is the 8 actually landed, blocking the 7 from going into the corner here. So Efren does need to, well, Efren could just pocket the 8 with a combo shot. He may end up doing that. Let's see. So with this angle, he's going to pocket the 6 here and roll the cue ball forward. Just kidding. He's going to combo the 8 in. Great shot. Now he is a little straight on with the 7. So he's going to have to manufacture an angle somehow. Most likely with top right spin. But it looks like he's just going to use left. Efren does it again. 15-11 to Efren. ULBADO has a shot clear for the 1 after the break, which is pretty fortunate. ULBADO uses a stun draw shot to make position for the 2 corner. Here, ideally, he would like to add a little bit of bottom bottom left spin to come back for the 3 corner over here. Let's see if he's able to. Nice shot. Is he going to scratch? He is. Unfortunate scratch. The only problem I really see here for Efren is the 8 ball is blocking many of the angles for the 5 corner. Let's see if Efren is able to come in between both the 7 and the 8. It looks like he was able to. Efren can choose to use topspin and come around, or just simply stun draw it for the 6 corner over here. A little topspin may be used for the cue ball to come straight back up or even around. Okay, so it looks like Efren decided to go around with it. A regular topspin shot should be used on the 7 for the cue ball to come straight back out for the 8 corner. I wonder if the 9 is clear for that corner. We'll see depending on how he plays it. Looks like he's using a draw shot. Yep, okay. So I'm guessing that the 9 is clear for the corner. All Efren needs to do is use a little bit of stun, leave the cue ball around this area, and he should be all set. Or top. Although he did get a little short of the ideal angle he wanted. 16-11 to Efren Reyes. Race to 18, he's getting close. ULBADO is once again left with an awkward shot on the 1. This is a shot he may need a bridge for, or he can decide to push out, or he can try to cut it. But they're all pretty tough, especially with making position on the 2. But he is able to do it. Very nice shot. Having the control to come down and then back up is extremely impressive. This shot's going to be a little difficult to control. He's got a very thin cut on the 2, and it's likely that the cue ball is going to go too far for the 3 corner setup. He may use the 6 to even stop the cue ball, but we'll see what he does. Very nice. He decides to go for the side pocket setup. Now the 4 is next, and the natural angle on the cue ball is to go in this direction. And the 4 is not clear for the corner because of the 6. So he may have to force something like this with the cue ball in order to make position for the 4. We'll see. Yeah, he ran into the 10 and ended up blocking himself with the 9. That's too bad. He doesn't even have the short side kick because of the 10. He's gonna have to go all the way down and back up to try to shoot it. It's a tough shot. Good contact. I don't think the 4 is clear for either corner. We may see a safety shot from Efren. What? 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 Leave it to Efren to carry him the 10 ball in there. Wow. What a shot. Unbelievable. ULBADO once again. Tough shot on the 1. This guy's not catching any breaks. He may go for the 2 carom. He made a difficult cut on the 1, but he did not get rewarded for it. The 2 is very deep in the pocket, which is deterring him from making this bank shot. Excellent masse shot. Very good masse shot with position on the 3. All he has to do is use light top spin and roll the cue ball slightly forward. Not slightly, a little more than slightly forward for the 4 corner setup. He got a little awkward on the rail. Just because the pocket is here, he should be able to strike the bottom of the cue ball. But it is a little awkward, a little more awkward than he would have liked for sure. He wants to draw the cue ball back for the 5 side. Excellent shot. This should be pretty straightforward for ULBADO. 5 side, 6 corner. The 7 you could choose to shoot into this side or right back into this side if you want. Is he frozen on the 8? He froze himself on the 8. I want to say unlucky, but he's the one who added that amount of light topspin to the shot. That's pretty unfortunate. The 7's open for all the pockets, so it's really just on Efren where he wants to set up for. Although that is not a great spot for the cue ball. The 7's probably going into the side. And let's see. Looks like he's using top right spin on it to bring the cue ball back over here for the 8 side, or corner now, I'm guessing. Those past 2 shots had questionable ball control. Very nice corner pocket shot by Efren. He ended up pretty straight on with the 9, so he's either going to have to use topspin or heavy draw. to bring the cue ball around for the 10, which he did. This is for the match. Corner pocket, I'm guessing. And that is match for Efren Reyes. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to see more.